Good evening and welcome to the Irish Art Show, brought to you from the Scientology Community Centre, Dublin. Tonight we're focusing on the unique art of Lisa Simpson. Lisa is a South Dublin-based artist who fell in love with art when she was a child. Even though she thought it was an unattainable career choice, life proved otherwise. And she's here to tell us all about it. How are you, Lisa?
Hi, Angel. Thanks so much for having me.
You're very, very welcome to the Irish Art Show. I'm really looking forward to this interview, I have to say, really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I'd like to know how your journey of art started. Have you always known that you were artistic?
Yeah, so I've always been artistic, even as a child. So every year Santa would bring me, the oil paintings with the colour by numbers. And it's something that I always enjoyed. And then I think I was in 4th class and I actually won the Texaco art competition. Oh. So we had to draw a sport. So I had 2 little figure skaters and I went off into the final for that. I didn't place anywhere after that, but it's just something that I always loved to do. I love drawing people as well, and it's just something that I grew up with, and I loved it in school as well.
I have to say you're excellent at it.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You're so talented.
Thank
I'm so
you.
jealous you're so talented. And I'd like to take you back to the beginning and tell us about your love of art in the early years.
Yeah, so I loved it in school, and basically I had it as a subject and I loved everything about it. But unfortunately, I was kind of top of the class until I got to 3rd class, and then a girl came in and she was much, much better than me. So in my actual junior cert, a teacher gave me a piece of advice, just, pick your top subjects, and I unfortunately got the worst grade in art. I got a C, just because towards the end I was kind of rushing and I didn't have enough time. So I guess with somebody being better than me and it being actually my worst grade in the end, I never even took art for my leaving cert. I just had a bit of a crisis of confidence, and yeah, I kind of ended it there. Unfortunately, I didn't think I was good enough to do it for my leaving cert.
So you felt kind of uninspired, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. I just had a bit of a crisis of, am I good, am I not good? And I just didn't do it for my leaving cert because I didn't think I would get a good grade. Everyone was like, pick your top subjects. It's all about points when you got to college. So yeah, I just kind of shuffled it off to the side, unfortunately.
I think that was probably a teenager thing,
Possibly.
Because we kind of want to be, better than,
Yeah.
I see you returned to art after taking a break, plus you didn't pursue it in school. Is that because of that girl, is it?
Yeah, so basically I kind of dropped it to the side and then I moved away from home. So I lived in London for a couple of years. So while I was in London, I had loads of free time. So I started drawing celebrities. So I did Victoria Beckham, I did Christina Aguilera, just like little, squiggles just for myself. And then actually I came home and I met my husband and I was showing him like a few little bits and he's like, oh my God, you're actually really good. Would you not consider going to art class? So that's when I went to my first art class. So that was in Clontarf. And he basically, I had to drive up from Newbridge, where I'm from. He was living in Dublin, and then he would ever so kindly let me stay over when I did an art class up in Clontarf. So that's kind of where it started, and I kind of grew my confidence through that.
It's great that he was helping you out as well and, inspiring you to be that person.
He did,
How did you start creating portraits for clients? I think that's lovely, and I love the one of the little girl. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, so that's Eliana. So that's a friend of mine, and that's her daughter. And so what I was doing was, when I was practicing with the celebs, I kind of started to do people that I know as well, just for fun. I did Eliana and I did my nephew Reen, and then I kind of just posted them on Facebook. I was just doing some and posting them for fun, really. And then a couple of people actually approached me and asked me to do some for them. So it really kind of transpired into people actually requesting commissions from me, and it just kind of grew organically, which I was absolutely thrilled with. People that I'd never met from Galway were messaging me and sending me photographs and, please, could you do this one? So yeah, it just kind of came about organically.
And tell us about the gentleman that we're going to show a portrait of.
Yeah.
How did that come about for you?
The very same. So basically they had seen my work. A lady called Lisa messaged me and said, would you be able to do this photograph? And I loved the photograph and I loved how it came out. This is actually one of my favourite portraits that I'd ever done, because there was a little glint in his eye that I think I captured. I have no idea how I did it, but that was a commission that somebody approached me about as well. Yeah,
It's amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
a gorgeous picture.
Thank you.
And what inspired you to go to art classes?
So yeah, so the first one that I did in Clontarf, I left, and then I had my son. So I had taken a bit of a break. I was heavily pregnant. I had no interest in art. And then when my son Freddie was a year old, my husband said, look, you know, you've got to go back to art class. You've got to get some me time going again. You know, it's a lot with a small 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So I found the Eden Art class there in Rathfarnham. I met Morgan and all the crew, and I have been with that art class for 7 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're still taking art classes?
Yeah. I took a bit of a break in the summer, but I'm going to be going back because I absolutely love it. I've made so many good friends. I ended up doing the people's art with some ladies from my art class. So it's just such a good catch up for a cup of tea, and we talk politics and we talk everything else. But it's really good for me to keep trying new different things, and Morgan kind of always steers me in the right direction if I'm going wrong. So yeah, I absolutely love it.
So you feel like you're actually basically always learning an art?
Oh, 100%. You never stop. You're always trying new processes. You know, I started out with oil paints. Now I'm using kind of gold spray paint and all sorts of things. So you never stop learning. You always try something different and see if it works.
I suppose everything that you draw brings its own inspiration and brings its own thing that you've learned new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I kind of, when I first got to the class, I was kind of painting all sorts of things. I was doing buildings, and I did a little kind of Mediterranean scene with a bike from my sister. And then I think I was in about 3 years when I did my very first floral, which is Summer Haze here behind me. And since then, I've just been addicted to flowers. I always absolutely love flowers. My husband always jokes every single dress that I buy has flowers on it. So I've always loved flowers and nature. I go to Marley Park 3 times every week for a long walk. So when I started with the flowers, I kind of couldn't stop, and I'm still going. I absolutely love them. So I created Summer Haze, and then a lady approached me about doing cherry blossoms for her. That was Fragile
That's my
Beauty.
favourite.
Yeah, so there's a really lovely meaning to the cherry blossom flower. So she wanted that captured, so I did that for her. That's in Galway. And then I made Violet Hues for a lady in Newbridge. And then Midnight Dream is my daisy. So the way I do it is I do kind of blurred out background, and then the daisies towards the front are like hyper detailed and focused, so it kind of looks like a pixelated photograph.
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Well done.
And Midnight Dream I ended up selling on Stephen's Green to an
did you?
American lady, an Irish American lady bought that, and I shipped it over to
And do
her,
they
yeah.
send you on where they put it? Do they ever?
Yeah, all the time they send me photographs of where they put it in their home.
That
and
must be amazing
It's
to
just
see.
so lovely. Yeah, it's so lovely to see
rehoused
them all
and-
home.
yeah.
And yeah.
Did COVID have an impact on your practice?
It did actually. So for me, I know it's a bit unusual, but I kind of had a really nice COVID. At the time, my job was super busy, but COVID slowed everything right down for me. I was home a lot more. I was working from home, doing shorter days. So actually, I would credit COVID with actually kind of increasing my artistic time that I had. I did way more paintings. I was pretty prolific, just batting them all out. And I actually set up my website then in January 2021. Because work was a little bit less hectic. Life was a little bit less hectic. We couldn't go out that much. I just found myself having all this free time. So I set up my website in January 2021. And what I did was I made my paintings into prints in the Copper House, and my friend from printing it, he made them into cards as well. So I was selling prints and cards, and I made little notebooks and things and launched my website. Yeah, in
I think
January
that's amazing.
2021.
You've got
Thank
so
you.
many gifts, gorgeous gifts for people to buy. I want them all.
Thank you. Thanks so
Did
much.
how did you get started in the craft markets actually?
Yeah, so actually.
Was that after COVID?
Yeah, yeah, it was. So
because you had so many paintings to sell.
I know, yeah. So I'm with the Fur House Community Crafters, and they set up in 2021 as a group, because with COVID, kind of they were just trying to get something social kind of happening. So the founders are Laura, Lee, and Sharon. They're the committee. So I found out about it through my friend Rachel. My friend Rachel is an absolutely amazing artist, and she goes to Morgan as well. And I follow her on Instagram and Facebook, and I saw that they were doing a Christmas market in December 2021, I believe it was as well. And so I dropped her a message. I said, oh my God, that looks fantastic. It's just across the road from where I live. It's at the Speaker Colony that we do a market once a month. So I was kind of begging her to get me in. So thankfully they let me join, and I did my first market with them in July last year. I did 3 dates last year, and I've done the entire summer with them this year as well. So it's been amazing, yeah.
And do you have a favourite painting that you would never sell? Or do you become detached when you afterwards?
No, I do have a favourite painting that I never sell. So recently, my husband, I painted Eric Cantona for him. So that was only the second portrait, because normally I do pencil. It was only the second or third one that I'd done in paint. And he had asked me to do this a number of years ago. We're together 11 years, we're married 3, and he has been waiting for those 11 years. So eventually I had a little bit more time on my hands in March, and eventually I painted Eric Cantona for him, and it's framed. I actually framed it up for Father's Day for him this year, and I think if you offered me €1 million, I couldn't sell it, because it's such a personal meaning. And yeah, he was chuffed with it. He waited long enough, so I don't think I could sell that one.
Has he got it in a man cave at home?
No, it's just in our bedroom. We have one of Alex Ferguson as well that I purchased a few years ago from a brilliant artist called Andre Mooney. So Alex is in the hall and Cantona's in the bedroom.
And do you have portraits of family?
I do, yeah. I've done my son recently with his little best friend, Anthony. And so Anthony's mum approached me to do that one. So I've done that recently as well. And I'm threatening to do a painting of my son as well when I get round to it. I'll definitely do that as well, yeah.
It's such a talent. You're so lucky.
Thank you.
You're so lucky to be able to create so
so
many diverse things in art for your, with your hands.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. I think, you mentioned that it was an unattainable career, and I kind of thought that when I was in school, and I didn't even do it for my leaving cert. But I think if you're creative, it always finds a way to kind of come out of you eventually. You might put it to the side when you're busy, when you have a young baby, but eventually it's just in you, and you have to let it out, and you have to find a way to kind of bring it to the forefront. So I feel like that's what I've done in more recent years. It's been bubbling away in my 20s, and it came out in my 30s. So yeah, I'm really happy.
I'd say the person that was you at your leaving cert would be very impressed with you.
I know, yeah. And listen, I know people that went to college and, they never picked up a paintbrush after art college because they didn't enjoy the experience. And I know people that put in 4 years of hard work and it didn't end up being their career in the end anyway. So I think my main message is you don't have to go to art college to be an artist. You just do what you feel, do what you love. I think an art class is always good, just to get the critique and, help brainstorm ideas and put your practice into some sort of organization in your brain. But I feel like I'm self-taught. You don't have to go to college. I think art it's in the eye of the beholder what they love and what they want to buy, so anyone can do it in my mind.
I think it's in you from birth, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, when you think about it, you started with just probably paintings, was it?
Yeah.
And now you've come on to another project, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
So your social media.
Yeah, so my social media, I'm on Instagram. And I do little, reels of creating paintings. It's really interesting to follow. I've less than 1,000 followers, but it has been growing since February. So it's just Lisa_Simpson_art. And if you pop that in, you'll see my logo. And my logo is over at the demo. So yeah, give me a follow. All follows are welcome. See what I'm up to, see what I'm creating next. And yeah.
Lisa, obviously we've come to the end of the interview.
Yep.
It's
Thank
been
you so
wonderful
much.
having you. You're absolutely inspiring.
Thank you. Thank
And
you
I
so
love
much. I
all
really
your
love
art. Look
being
at these
here.
beautiful pieces here. They're gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
But I believe that you are starting a new artistic venture, which I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
And you're going to demonstrate that for us
I
here
am.
now.
Yes,
I'm
give
so
everyone a
excited.
little sneak peek of what I've been up to.
I'm so excited. So it's over to you, Lisa.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
We're looking forward to it.
Thanks
so
much.
much for coming here. Hopefully we'll
Cheers.
see you again.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you. So Lisa is going to make her way to the stage and do an amazing demonstration, and I can't wait, so stay tuned.
So this is a new medium that I've been working with. It's called resin. And I first saw it actually, my neighbour in art class, Anna, her daughter bought her this beautiful resin palette for her paints, and it had dried flowers encased in it. And I thought it was absolutely stunning. And you know, I love a flower. So I was like, oh, I've got to learn how to do this. So I found a course in Block T, which is now called Flux, with Mia McVeigh. And that was in March. I did a 2-day weekend course, and it was essentially learning about how to work with resin. So this is the raw material here. You've got part A and part B, and when you mix them together, essentially there's a chemical reaction and they heat up and it goes rock hard. So as you can see here, it's basically, they call it unbreakable glass, actually, it's kind of a nickname. So you get a beautiful glass clear effect, and you've got your lovely flowers encased in that as well. So I started in March and I made a few different products. I did coasters and charcuterie boards. I also do little bookmarks. So some of these bookmarks, I've pressed the flowers myself as well. So yeah, that's a few of the items that I've done. I've done little coasters as well. As you can see, these are little flowers that I pressed as well. And I have done trinket trays as well. So these are for jewellery. You can pop your keys on them. They also hold a mug and 2 biscuits I have tested. And so this is my little flower press that I use. So my friend Lee bought this for me. She thought of me when she saw it. And these are some of the results. So what I do is I take a whole flower and pop it into my press. It takes about a week and a half, and then it comes out completely flat, as you can see here. Oh, I've lost one. And then I make them into coasters. So that little purple guy is the same as the ones that I've pressed here. And this one I pressed myself as well. So they were going really, really well at my craft markets. Everybody was loving the products. And then I saw something on Instagram which piqued my interest, and that was people encasing entire floral bouquets into resin. And so I kind of had a little look online, educated myself on what to do. It's a slightly different raw material that you have to use. And this was born. So this is my very first one. My friend owns a salon in Newbridge, my hometown, and she wanted to display her QR code to her customers in her salon. So this takes everybody to her website. So she knew that I was working with flowers. So I chose a bouquet to match in with the colours of the salon. She really loved it. And so I designed the piece. I chose a hexagon mould, and I popped her little QR code into the centre for her. So this is a super idea as well for brides. So if you can imagine, you've spent a fortune on your bridal flowers. They're in every single photo on your day. What you can do is actually dry them out. So I would go and pick them up, dry them out for you. It's a process. You use silica sand. So it takes a week or two for most flowers, some a little longer. And what happens is you completely encase the flower into silica. It dries out and it goes a little bit kind of dry and crispy. And they can't have any moisture left inside them, or else they will just rot in the resin. So when they're completely ready, you pop them into a mold and you layer it up layer by layer by layer until they're all fully encased. And then when it's complete, then you do a top coat at the end. So this is a finished piece. And I just brought a piece that was midway done as well. So my friend sent me an idea on Instagram to do a baby keepsake as well. You know, it's another milestone in life that we all want to hang on to and keep forever. So this is actually all my son, Freddie, all his little keepsake bits. So you can see I've poured the first layer of resin, and so I have a few little bits of memories from Freddie when he was born. So I have his little first booties, and his little hospital bracelet, and his little scan photo. And then these are little teething beads that we used to have around his ankle, and his little dodie as well. So this is the mold, and then you can imagine when I've fully layered it up, it'll probably take about 4 goes. It will then result in a piece just like this, completely see-through, really, really heavy and hard wearing, and I will have that forever. So yeah, so that's my first piece, and I'm hoping to offer this as a service for clients moving forward, whether they'd like to go for a memorial piece or if it's their wedding bouquet. And if you keep an eye on my Instagram, I'm hoping to be ready to launch from October 1st. I just need to buy a couple of more molds to give brides an option on size and pieces. I'm going to be buying a square piece as well, which will look really nice with a photo inside. So yeah, keep an eye on my socials. I'll be launching October 1st, and drop me a DM if you have any interest or any questions. I'd be happy to chat. Thank you.
Wow, what a demonstration. That's incredible. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Lisa's resin art comes along in the future, and she will be launching that on the 1st of October. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, from myself and the crew here, all at the Irish Art Show, we've had a great one. See you next week.